I'm Liza Banks. I'm a tour guide at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and I want to talk to you about this Jackson Pollock behind me. But before I talk about this Jackson Pollock, first, I want to show you this Thomas Struth photograph that's paired with it. So in the Tisch galleries on the south side of the museum, you have this Thomas Struth and this Jackson Pollock. Now, this was made in 2021, and this one was made in the 1950s. So this very famous Jackson Pollock Autumn Rhythm number 30 was made in 1950. Now, the Met purchased it in 1957, 1 year after Jackson Pollock died. Now, this is really interesting because Jackson Pollock was sort of the bad boy of abstract expressionism. Okay, as you can see, there's really no way to put into words what this painting looks like, and that's because Jackson Pollock took representational art and literally threw a bomb into it. What I think is really interesting about Jackson Pollock's beginnings as an artist is he learned under Thomas Hart Benton, who was a very famous big mural painter in America, so it explains the size and the scale. There's a big exhibition about Jackson Pollock and Lee Krasner, his wife, coming up in the Met in the fall, and so there's going to be a lot of Jackson Pollocks to see, but I think it's really interesting that the Met put this piece in the same room as this Thomas Struth photograph right here. Now, Thomas Struth learned under Gerhard Richter, who's a very famous German artist. Thomas Struth is also German. This photograph was made, like I said, in 2021. Now, when you look at it, it might seem like a black and white photograph, right? Just like when you look at this one, you're like, oh, it's black and white. But there are actually a lot of colors and tonality in both. Now, I'm going to show a really cool parallel between these two pieces that I think is really hard to pick up. So if you don't want spoilers, stop watching now. Also, if you stand at this exact spot, the divider, you can see this one and you can see this one. So you can see how they draw parallels between each other. Okay, so if we get up and close to this piece. Now, for some reason, for me in this piece, I think of COVID. It was made in 2021, but it sort of, to me, alludes to like the loneliness of the pandemic. But when you're looking at it, you start to see these colors emerge. I also picked up this really interesting, like reddish leaf that's on this branch over here, right? You can really get lost in the abstraction of this piece. One of my favorite pastimes at the Met is to sit here and just look at this thing uninterrupted. I've now made a friend, and I've given him the task of finding there is one singular red dot in this painting that is really hard to see, and now he's looking for it. And I'm not going to tell him where it is, but spoiler alert, I'm going to tell you where it is via this camera, but don't give it away so that he can still find it. Anyway, if you're at the Met, come to the Tisch galleries, come check out the Jackson Pollock and see if you can find the little red dot.